are we getting a minivan? These are actual words that I said to my husband right after we finished loading our son and all of his stuff into this, the Toyota Sienna, and it wasn't even for a very long trip. But anyway, let's talk about you and your shopping journey. If you are getting a minivan or thinking about it, I say kudos, good for you for getting on board with that, because this is the superior format for a lot of people. And now that I have a family of my own, I have a new appreciation for the minivan body style in general and for the Toyota Sienna in particular. So let's talk about what it's like to live with, how it compares to competitors, and of course, what's new for 2026. Some features have been reshuffled, all in favor of the shopper, but if you're shopping used, considering other models in the generation, you're gonna wanna know what's new, so I'll make sure to cover that. We have lots of these for sale on CarGurus.com, and of course, we have lots of video reviews here on YouTube, so please subscribe to this channel before you go. Minivans catch a lot of hate, but I would not say that they're actually inherently ugly. I will say that my money is on the Chrysler Pacifica as the best looking minivan, and come at me, Dave Underkoffler, and if you don't get that reference, you should check out the Driveway podcast because we talked about this. But this one, may not be the prettiest. It's not bad though. It looks like some care went into it, or at least like some care went into the Toyota Highlander, and that trickled down to this design. We've also seen a really similar face on the previous gen Camry. They've replaced it since for the new generation, so who knows, maybe this is headed that direction too. This heavy metal paint color is now available on LE, XLE, XSE, Limited, and Platinum trims. That's new for 2026. The one other trim is the special Woodland edition. This is the Platinum, so the top trim that we're looking at today. What's weird is you've seen we've got this hands-free power liftgate. From what I can tell from doing my research, that is actually not standard even on this top trim. It's an option, so if you want it, you're gonna have to add it. One more thing I'll note back here, see this HEV badge? We're gonna get into that in a couple of minutes. What is standard on almost every trim, everyone except the base, is this, which I think is arguably more important to be hands-free. If you have a kid, you're always walking up to the door holding them, a small enough kid anyway. You're not always walking up to the back holding something. But this way you don't have to press the button, you can just put them right into the car seat. It is admittedly a lot easier to get a baby into a car seat in this than it is, for example, in our Accord. The tall door opening, the height of the seats, all of that makes that motion a lot easier. And look at this. This is so much space. And this seat actually does move even further back. It's easier than I made it look. This is a ton of room. Now, I actually did take a nap in this middle row, waiting with the baby while my husband went into the grocery store, and look at this. I mean, this is super, super comfortable. I was going to tell you that I could take or leave this wood trim in the center console in the Platinum trim, but the truth is I would sooner leave it. I actually really don't like it. There's something about this like cool grayish color combined with the high gloss plastic that's not working for me, and I really hate that it fades to black because it just looks dirty in this middle section here. I don't think that's good. What I do like about the Platinum trim is it's the only one that gets a standard heated steering wheel, and I think that's a really nice feature. If you don't care about that, but you do want heated and ventilated front seats and leather trim, you only have to go up to Limited. That's where those features start. The power tilt and slide moonroof is newly standard on the Sienna, and I actually should have mentioned that while I was still in the front seat because that's who it impacts. You really can't see it back here. That's like a treat for the parents in the minivan, right? Now, what else is standard and important for this back seat are these sunshades. I thought that was a really nice thing. I actually bought aftermarket suction cup ones for our car because if you have a kid who naps in the car and sometimes only will sleep in the car, you do not want the sun preventing that from happening. 4-zone climate control starts at the XSE trim level, and we've got our buttons right up here, which is nice for your second row passengers. There are also 7 USB ports, so plenty of charging for everybody, and up to 18 cup and bottle holders, which is a lot. I can see several of them from here. There's 1 in the door, 2, 3 up front, 4, 5 right here, 6 and 7, these little netting ones, 8, 9 inside that door, and there are 9 others to be found on a little scavenger hunt if we want. New for 2025 was something right here, a vacuum and a fridge box. This is a refrigerated compartment. That's pretty cool, and it is standard on the Platinum trim. It's available on Limited, but it's an almost $3,000 option, so you have to really want that. And the vacuum comes with the fridge box. You cannot get just one or the other. back here in the third row with the second row in what I like to call napping position, there's still no way my knees are going to touch it, and I can even stretch out my feet a little bit, which is nice. I've also found 2 more cup holders right here, so we're looking good on that claim. Behind these seats, with these in place, there is still 33.5 cubic feet of cargo space. Not crazy for a minivan, but consider that that's basically the size of a standard sedan trunk, so you've got plenty of room for people and gear. So it almost feels like we should talk more about riding dynamics today than driving dynamics, because this is, after all, what the English call a people carrier, and they call it that for a reason. But this actually kind of surprisingly shines when driving too, so I think we are going to cover it. Let's get going, and I want to first point out this. Such a long throw. It feels weird to be talking about shifter throws for an automatic car, but it goes back so far and it looks so dumb. So just, it's worth mentioning because it's silly. It's silly. The Sienna is surprisingly maneuverable, more so than you might think from looking at it. And although it looks large, it's actually only 10 inches longer than the Camry. The Tacoma and the Sequoia are both longer than this is, so not at all the biggest thing on the road or even in the school drop-off line. There are some other tools, especially on this top trim. There's this panoramic view monitor and 360-degree overhead view that turns on in reverse or at low-speed driving to really help you make sure that you're coloring inside the lines, whether you're parking or just trying to hang out in your own lane. It's really useful. The one thing I don't like about it is it's transparent at first. You can see the ground underneath the vehicle, and then after a few seconds it colors in, and I find that weird. It's really nice to see the ground underneath. Why take that away if we have that capability? The driving experience is pleasant, if a bit mushy. We've got soft suspension, soft ride, not that much feel from the steering. Brakes require a bit more effort than you would expect for a sedan, for example, but it's a nice feeling, and it's surprisingly light on its feet for such a big hulking thing. You actually kind of forget how big this vehicle is until you go to get gas, which isn't going to happen that often because it's a hybrid. So I actually averaged 38.5 miles per gallon, and that is pretty darn good for something that weighs as much or more than 1.5 Corollas. So let's talk stats, something people always talk about with their minivans, right? 245 horsepower in terms of total system output from the hybrid and 176 pound-feet of torque. Toyota estimates this at 36 miles per gallon combined, but again, I did better with a lot of highway driving in the mix. And the Sienna can be front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. This one is all-wheel drive. That's standard on the Platinum trim as well as on the Woodland edition. My one other comment on driving experience also applies to front row riding, and that is that the engine is surprisingly noisy, especially for how refined it is otherwise and the smooth power delivery. I'm surprised at how much I can hear it when I'm stepping on the gas. It's just not great noise cancellation. But I've ridden in the second row of plenty of other Siennas, and I have it on good authority from my family this week that is not a problem in the second row. No doubt in the third row as well. What is a little trickier for passengers is the body roll or the lean. When you're not the one piloting this, it really can feel pretty dramatic, even if the vehicle is moving at a very sedate pace. So that's something to be aware of. It's not a knock against the Sienna though. It's more like just something to do with the minivan shape. It's a very tall vehicle on a low platform. It's gonna lean. If you're shopping this generation of Sienna, which started in 2021, it might interest you to know that Toyota has upgraded the audio for 2026. So you now get a base 8-speaker sound system instead of 6 on that base LE trim. And meanwhile, the 12-speaker JBL premium audio system, that's the upgraded one, that now starts at the XSE trim level. Also starting on the XSE trim is this 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. Otherwise, it's a 7-inch multi-information display. We have the larger touchscreen today, but wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard, regardless of your screen size, so that is a nice thing. We've got the head-up display. That is only available on the top trim. No other trim can get that, but both Limited and Platinum can get the digital rear view mirror. It's an option on both of those trims. Personally, this is not my favorite kind of feature, so I would not be optioning it. Pretty much every safety feature that's on the Sienna is on every Sienna for 2026, almost every one. So that means you're getting standard adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic alert, lane departure alert, and as of 2025, an advanced rear seat reminder is standard. But Toyota has not thrown everything it's got at the Sienna, which is kind of surprising. What I mean is this: we are working with the Toyota Safety Sense 2.0 system, suite of advanced driver assistance features. It's now up to 4.0, and the Highlander got TSS 2.5 plus way back in the 2021 model year. So basically, we've got old tech here. They've continued to enhance its ability to detect things like pedestrians and cyclists. They've added proactive driving assist, which gives you steering support and braking support in curves for versions 3.0 and 4.0. They've enhanced the emergency steering assist for the pre-collision avoidance system. We don't get that on this, the brand new 2026 Toyota Sienna. Both the Sienna and the Honda Odyssey won top safety pick awards from the IIHS in 2024. No minivan, including this one, has won it since. Kind of interesting. But we do have to give the Sienna credit for earning a 5-star overall rating in crash testing from the NHTSA this year. If you want a new minivan in the United States, there are 6 options. Let's count them. We've got the Toyota Sienna, Honda Odyssey, Kia Carnival, Chrysler Pacifica and Pacifica plug-in hybrid, let's count those as 1, Chrysler Voyager, and Volkswagen ID Buzz. That one's fully electric, but definitely minivan format, so I'm going with it. If you want a traditional hybrid minivan, traditional meaning you don't have to plug it in, you're down to this or the Kia Carnival. And if what you want is also all-wheel drive, hybrid all-wheel drive, this is no longer a question of which minivan, it's which Sienna. Of course, in answering that question of which Sienna, price is going to be a key factor, so let's talk about it. It starts at $41,915, including destination. Add $2,000 for all-wheel drive, and then we could skip up to the Limited. That's $52,600, again, with front-wheel drive. Woodland Edition comes standard with all-wheel drive, but you're looking at $52,695. And Platinum takes you up to $59,305. This one, though, as tested, passes the $60,000 mark. So if you're shopping for a Sienna or you're shopping for a minivan, we've got tons of information for you. This review, reviews on competitors in previous model years, written reviews, articles, and of course our real-time market data and deal ratings so you can make sure you're getting a good price. Just before you head off on the rest of your shopping journey, please subscribe to this channel.